Hello, my name is Farah Ramirez, and I'm going to talk about the challenges that bilinguals, monolinguals, and emerging bilinguals face in school. To begin with, I would like to say that after watching the video of Karina Chapa, her TED talk, I felt identified with her when I was watching, and she was explaining that at the beginning of her school here in the United States, she felt not smart enough. She felt that she wasn't at the same level as an English student. For me personally, sometimes I feel the same way. I'm not a shy person, but sometimes I just have to stay quiet so I don't make fun of myself, if you want to say that. Well, anyways, so I think that those are some of the challenges that emerging bilingual face as well, because they don't feel secure of themselves. They feel that they feel that like we feel that we're not proficient on the second language that we're learning. And of course, right, we want to be perfect. Why not? Everybody wants to be perfect and get the higher grades, but I think that's one of the challenges that emerging bilinguals might face. Some bilingual students, some challenges they might face, it's that as we learn that, for example, his Hispanic students, they speak Spanish, and the Spanish language is seen as a second-class language, and sometimes they don't embrace it, and they don't wanna talk Spanish because they feel embarrassed of their own language. That's one of the challenges that bilingual students face in school. As I was reading chapter 8, I was surprised to learn that some of the oldest theories about language development they were wrong. How can they be wrong? Well, because, for example, on the balance theory, we learned that language was seen as a kind of like a seesaw, right? For example, like our brain is we can put it like this, like we can symbolize it as a seesaw, right? And we have, for bilingual students, we have our brain like right here, and then on one side we have language 1, and on the other side we have language 2. And for a bilingual student, if they want to learn more, if they want to become proficiently on the language 2, their language 1 will have to decrease. In other words, the balance theory is explain us that there's a limit on the language development of the brain. And now we know that that's not right. For example, another example is the balloon theory, where it's almost the same thing. On this theory, we're using balloons. On one side, we have the balloon representing one language, and on the other side, we have the other balloon representing the second language. When the second language gets bigger, the first language has to decrease. So that's another wrong theory about language development, because on these theories, on this model known as a separate underlying as a separate underlying proficiency, SUP model, language 1 and language 2, they seem to be divided. as well, on the same chapter, on chapter 8, we learned that there's other theories that support bilingualism, because they believe that bilingualism, it's more just than knowing more language. It helps us to develop our brain. It helps us to develop cognitively on many ways. For example, when we are learning to add or subtract and using one language, you don't need to go back and change everything that you learn and transfer that information into another language, because you already know what to do. Because our cognitive is working, is helping us to make the connection between the two languages. On the theory of the common underlying proficiency model. I'm sorry. On the theory of the underlying proficiency model, on that theory is we learn that we have two icebergs, right? On one side of the iceberg, we have language 1, and then the other side of the iceberg, we have language 2. But the thing that we can see is that under the water, there is a big iceberg. And this iceberg connect those little two icebergs from the top. And this big iceberg connect them together. So all the cognitive skills of the learning development is working together on both of the language. And I think that's how our brain works. I think that for bilingual people, that's how our brain works. And I think that we as bilinguals, we need to help our students to embrace their language and to so they can grow as adults, and they can teach others wherever we are teaching them. So our language, our first language, is not seen as a second class language. It doesn't matter what kind of language is. Okay, that's it. Thank you.